Good morning, gentlemen. I guess you guys must be right now pretty bright after a good tea or coffee. We shall now proceed with the technical sessions as planned today. Just as an information, due to a last-minute emergency, our beloved second speaker, Mr. Duray Arasan, VP Operations, Ashley Alteams, is unavailable to make it to our seminar. In his absence, our beloved Organizing Committee Chairman, Mr. S. Rajagopalan, will present the same topic to our esteemed audience. We now request Mr. E. Prabhakaran, National Council Member, IIF, to introduce Mr. S. Rajagopalan, immediate past CEO, Ashley Alteams, India Limited.
It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Rajagopalan, the immediate past CEO of Ashley Alteams, India Limited. He is a metallurgical engineer from NIT Trichy with an management education from IIM Ahmedabad. He has a rich experience in the field of automotive ancillaries, automotive component manufacturing and foundry operations. He worked in leading auto ancillary companies and had a stint in entrepreneurship as well. He had spearheaded a couple of greenfield projects before involving in Ashley Alteams and has a global exposure too. He was working with Ashley Alteams as a business head right from the inception of the company. A multifaceted experience of over 47 plus years in the area of operations, business process, re-engineering, greenfield project, product management, finance and administration, human resource, works management, etc. As a CEO of Ashley Alteams, he had a proven expertise in highly engineered systems which require deep understanding of critical business drivers in multiple markets and industries. He is highly successful in building relationship with upper level decision makers, seizing control of critical problem areas and delivering on customer commitments. Lead and motivated worldwide teams comprised of more than 1,000 employees and managed INR 2,000 million revenue P&L businesses. His expertise in developing powerful network of business contracts to be tapped for new leads and techno-commercial negotiations, advantages while delivering extraordinary results in achieving business growth objectives within startup, turnaround, rapid change environments, all gathered while touring Germany, various countries in the world. Sir, the stage is yours, sir. Please, sir.
Happy morning again to all. So I am not the author of this subject. Author of the subject is Mr. G. Durayarsan, as he was explaining it very nicely. Of course, he was my colleague for more than 15 years. So he was requesting me to take charge of this presentation due to his unavailability. And I am very, very eager to see this and then take this through. I am very sure that you will be able to capture a lot of new things, and whatever the queries you have, etc., and time permits, we can have it here, or you can send it across in a mail where we can definitely reply to you, okay, with answers. Thank you. Let's go through the presentation. See, we are talking about the QCD business excellence, QCD for business excellence. So business excellence is a very comprehensive statement. So it encompasses the various strategies within an organization so that you can come to the level. There is no end for business excellence. You have to continually improve. Okay, you just can't say that my business has come to a level that we have exceeding everybody's expectations and then we are the excellent people on the earth. Nobody can claim that. And then we need to continually work on that. And it's a very complex statement, but it definitely encompasses the quality, cost, and delivery. And the delivery includes the new innovations and all this stuff, and what Mr. Singh was talking about in the morning. Concurrent engineering, and he was talking about smart factories and all this stuff. And we have to go through that. And let us go through, see, we thought that total quality management is the top driving factor for starting your journey on business excellence. It is involving all the people in the organization, not staying with only at the people at top level or the middle level. You have to go down to the level of the operators and helpers as well in all fragments of the business and the factory. And there are, of course, these concepts you guys must have definitely learned, and we need to continually improve on that also. Items like Six Sigma, where the variation has to be brought to almost zero. Okay. Lean manufacturing, you have to eliminate all the wastages in the manufacturing, and you must have been learning about it for quite a number of years, and a lot of us would have reached a certain level of improvement on this, but there is no end to prevent waste manufacturing if you are continually improve. That is what we talk about the Kaizen program. Definitely, I am very sure that all of you must be very aware of it. And then you must have taken trainings on Kaizen, and you must have deployed your own teams, Kaizen teams in the factories, for bringing the daily works management to almost hassle-free. See, the TQM, ultimately what? The quality, the total quality involving all the people and processes, and ultimately what is required is customer satisfaction. So customers are satisfied if you supply components or products or services in time and without any hassles for them to get it, and they don't have any problems when they shift it to their line for usage and all this stuff. And then all these things can be brought up by making some small improvements on the shop floor by involving all the people. I am sharing some of the real-time experience which Durayarsan has felt it in the factory. See, he is talking about the tool breakages, and which is causing some, you would have some missing operation, missing threads, etc. in a machine shop, and which, if it goes without being detected at the factory and reaches the customer level, and it results in the customer dissatisfaction. And he says tool breaking sensor is provided for all the operations so that this defect is almost nullified. And this is one of the good experience with Ashley has gone through, and then Durayarsan is the author of the same. Again, thread washout and oversize and undersize, and this is taken care by supplying the coolant through the cutting tool itself. This is one of the improvement. You can see the coolant coming through the drill, and these are some of the improvements which he has done it in the shop floor. And in an assembly where they were also supplying sub-assembled parts, there are some child parts and some child parts missing is one of the major subject. See, normally these parts are supplied to companies like Nokia, Ericsson, etc. It's our telecom OEMs, and they don't have a major incoming inspection and all this stuff in their. Normally they believe in the suppliers, and then they take it straight away to their assembly lines. This is going to put them into a lot of difficulties because they would have by then assembled their own PCBs, etc., soldered their own PCBs, etc. When it comes to the final stage, they find it, then it's one hell of a problem for them. The huge loss. And then we thought that we should eliminate it at the factory itself by providing some good sensors. And our rates, Ashley Alteams rates at Nokia and all our customers end have been fantastic over the years. There are some must-be features you can see, and I don't want to explain one by one. I think most of you must be. I don't know whether we'll be sharing this presentation to everybody. Yeah, we'll be sharing. I think you can go through that. I don't want to get because the time is limited, and all these things are must be. See, for example, flatness variation you can't avoid. You need to have consistency. Millipore cleaning is one thing which is cleanliness level is order of the day. All these OEMs, etc., they are expecting it very highly. And then we have normally, instead of normal cleaning, we have deployed some ultrasonic cleaning, etc. You can go through that. And functional gauges are required for checking if your multi-ports components we are supplying. And then you don't want to get into, whenever you go for a huge volumes, supply some 8,000, 10,000 pieces per month, you just can't afford this type of a defect, and then results in a lot of problems, and then the customer is also getting dissatisfied. And there are some more must-be features. You just can't avoid alloy mix-up. I'm very sure that being foundry people, you must be deploying this color code technique. And then I'm very sure that material discipline is order of the day. And you know what type of problems we'll face if it is going to the customer side. Metal temperature is one of the key element in maintaining the consistency with respect to quality. And then metal temperature variation has to be avoided both at the bulk melting stage as well as in the holding stage. And you know that what type of problems it will face, and you'll have to have some interlocks there and then ensure that you don't get into such hazards. Shrinkage porosity, you can deploy some squeeze technology. Most of the die casting people must be knowing about it. And squeeze technology is one thing which is deployed on critical parts. I was talking to Mr. Thirinjanam. Thirinjanam is my senior in Sundaram Clayton. And I'm very happy to see that this guy is working from MGR days to Vijay's days. Maybe we'll work on Vijay's son days also. Right? And he's one person who will be too good in answering all these things. Squeeze technology, we have found that on very critical components like gearboxes, etc., and we have found it very useful in bringing the rejections to a very, very bare minimum level. Sometimes we supply as cast to Ashok Leyland, and where they machine. Of course, today we have started 100% machining and supplying. And you just can't avoid somewhere in Bandara, somewhere in Pantnagar, you supply components and they run into problem of shrinkages, etc. And then it's one hell of a problem for Ashok Leyland as well as for us. So these technologies are definitely giving us a lot of, what I would say, free time to think about and then advancement. Next comes the Six Sigma. Six Sigma is one thing, as I told you, is especially the CP, CPK dimensions, etc. You need to have controls completely so that there's absolutely no variation. And Six Sigma is initially, maybe about 15, 20 years back, it was looking a huge effort, and today it is not. Most of the operating people are trained, well trained in this, and then we need to have some Six Sigma champions, and you need to have launch a team. And you need to define what exactly is the problem or the processes in various components. And you need to understand that how you are going to measure it, and then how you can analyze it, and how you can improve it, and how you can control it for sustainability. And this is required. And as going forward, I'll talk a little bit about 4.0 also, Industry 4.0 also. And all these things bring it to consistency level in the operations, where you don't, see, ultimately, as I was initially telling, the TQM portion of it, the ultimately customer satisfaction is order of the day. That is what is important for any industry, more so for foundry industry. Foundry, I know the hassles. Normally, in a machine shop or assembled products type of businesses, you would know and mechanically you would be able to identify the issues within the factory itself. In a process like foundry, it is very difficult for you to have a total control unless you have the basics in place. It is as good as cooking. All of you must be knowing. If you are putting some rasam on the stove and then you start watching some TV and come back, you know rasam will go for a toss. Our process is as good as that. And you need to have control right from the beginning till the end. And that you can't do one person going around, do this, do that, etc. It is going to be one hell of a problem, and that guy will get tired within an hour. So you need to deploy the system in place, train the guys on the line, and then ensure that everything is followed from A to Z, so that at the end of the day, you sleep peacefully. And this Six Sigma approach has really helped, and we have deployed the Six Sigma. I am not talking something which Ashley Alteams have not deployed. We have deployed, and we are hassles-free. And the cost of poor quality on sales, percentage of cost of poor quality on sales is less than 1.5% at Ashley Alteams. And it is damn good. Our collaborator Alteams, they are working around 2.5 to 3%, whereas we are working less than 1.5%. They are really flabbergasted on this type of controls Ashley Alteams have deployed. And Durayarasan and team have done a great job. It is only nice of Durayarasan who should have come here and to present this. But anyway, I have been part of him, and I have been working with him as a senior to him. And I also take some amount of pride in that, actually. Lean manufacturing is more of waste eliminations. right from transportation, inventory, motion, waiting, war production, war process, defects. Most of you must have heard about it. I think I don't want to keep on talking. Have you heard about all these things or not? Have anybody not heard about this? I am very sure that almost all of you must have heard about it. And but still, whatever little things, see, like our elderly people in the family, they keep on telling certain things which you already know. See, for example, you would have to go to bed at 10 o'clock, wake up at 6, ensure that you have your breakfast before 8 o'clock, so that you keep some good health. All these advices, if it keeps on coming from the elders in the family, at one point in time you get tired. But why they keep on telling is, there is a tendency to deviate. If the tendency is to deviate, unless you keep on reminding yourself, it is not going to be that easy for anyone to sustain, right? That is why we are talking about it. And transportation, I don't want to get into details. I think we'll share the presentation, you can go through that. And excessive inventory, nobody is going to agree. I don't think, even if you talk to Mr. Raman, Ashok Leyland, they don't agree. March month, they are very clear that what type of inventory control they should have. They start initiating right from February. And even in a foundry operations like ours, where the margins are so thin, you just can't afford having a huge stock of alloys and WAPs and finished goods, where it will eat away straight away into your margins. You need to work very smartly in your production planning system, get it in line with customers' requirements, and ensure that you are optimizing the inventory management. This is very key. Straight away tells upon the bottom line. And talk about motion waste. Within the factory, you know that lean manufacturing talks about you have modular concepts, and you have within the factory, to the large extent, you don't make one component running from back and forth, and then within you are trying to complete all the operations within the defined cycle time, and then you are there, and so that you don't waste this. In fact, all these things will eat up into the bottom line unknowingly. It will not be, you will think that directly it will not have an impact, but it will definitely unknowingly eat up your bottom line. And waiting waste is one thing. Waiting for metal, you just can't afford. You have some 25 die casting machines, and every day some 3-4 die casting machines are waiting for metal more than 3-4 hours. Is it good? Where the machine hour rates is in excess of 2,500 rupees per hour. Just can't afford. You need to have, that is why the PPC process, production planning control process, has to be streamlined and for sustainability. All this basic work is needed, more needed for a foundry operation. Now, as a fellow foundryman, I'm definite that you guys will appreciate these type of improvements because your margins are very thin. I am seeing in the last 10 years, none of the OEMs are willing to give any price increases. They are only willing to give some pricing corrections for the raw material. Even that, they want to have one quarter lag. To bring it on concurrent basis, it's very difficult. Having managed a business, I'm telling this. In the light of that, you can't afford to have inventory or war production, definitely. Over process. No need for doing any extra process where it is not required, where the customer is not going to pay you. We are going to talk about a little later on activity-based costing. You just can't afford the defects. We have been talking about the defects and how to control it in process, and how to control it by training the people. And all-round training is mandatory. It is not that one set of people in the company is having the knowledge which is not deployed down the level into the manufacturing arena. If that is not going to happen, at the end of the day, you will not see results. We used to say that it is just easy for you to play your cover drives and straight drives on the nets. So when you go to the test match, you fail. No use. Okay. It is not enough if you have a set of people having knowledge and it is not deployed into the manufacturing arena, and ultimately the company is not getting the results. So you need to definitely go through all these things and then ensure that we are straight away on the track. Kaizen is one area where Kaizen is, again, everything is linked. Whether lean manufacturing or TQM or manufacturing, whatever you call it, Everything is interlocked, intertwined, right? Kaizen is order of the day. You need to deploy Kaizen teams on the shop floor, and they have to put up, they have to sync with the management thinking. Very important for one to, in fact, in Ashley, we used to have a town hall meeting every month. Every month, as a CEO, I used to advise the employees, giving them all the relevant information, what they want, what are the customer expectations. May not be, even to a large extent, we used to share even the bottom line and top line of the company. May not be some tricky issues on finances, but then definitely we share everything. They should know. See, in olden days, I remember, I have been working from 1975. I remember in olden days, people used to have it up their cuff. And most of the finance guys will think that they are gods. And they will not reveal any information. That is not going to help the business. It was possible in those days, whenever you wanted price increases, customers were giving. You wanted 5% price increase, customers were giving 6% price increase. I remember in Sundaram Clayton, our finance guy used to up their collar. We only wanted 6%, they gave me 9%. Tata Motors. In those days, Tilco. Right? It's not going to happen today. Today, things have changed. Things have changed. Okay? And we need to be very critical about whatever the operations we are doing. And then critical in the sense that it should be a positive criticism, not negative criticism, not putting down some people, etc., which is going to definitely impact the morale. Okay? And Industry 4.0, I was just talking about, Industry 1.0, mechanization, steam, mass production assembly line, Industry 2.0. 3.0 is automation and computers, which we have come to know in late 1980s, 1990s, right? And today is Industry 4.0. He was talking about smart factories, and then you need to have all the information database, both in manufacturing as well as in design, and ensure that you are able to, Mr. Singh was absolutely spot on when he said that you can simulate it on a laboratory basis, and then get the knowledge base trained, and then try to slowly improve upon. So in Ashley Alteams, we have done in a small way. I'll bring, these are all general information which I don't want to get into details. I'll share with you. I'll share one input. These are all benefits, and you can go through the presentation which is shared with you. So this is one component where there are 14 items to be checked. This is a hands-on experience from Ashley. Okay, this goes to a customer, Tata Cummins, right? And the volumes are plenty, 10,000, 15,000 per month, right? 14 operations, 14 measurements are to be made. By deploying this Industry 4.0, both in manufacturing as well as in assembly and inspection, I don't want to get into those details. This inspection time, you can see from 15 minutes to 1 minute. And the quantum that is to be invested, it is not on the sampling basis, it's on a 100% basis. You are spot on when it goes to the customer. And customer can have it checked from their own end. We also have with, in Ashley, we also have such facility with Nokia, right? We have set up an inspection table there, we have set up an inspection table here, and then it is interlinked, and they can check. Before we deliver, the Tata Cummins guys, see, normally we weekly deliver, if their requirement is on 15,000, 3,000, 4,000 per week. All the sample sizes, batch sizes, etc., everything is recorded there. The moment it goes there, it is easy for them to keep it in their warehouse and then take it out whenever they want it for production, right? And without any hassles. And the Tata Cummins, as you know very well, they have facilities in Fulton, in Pune, and in Jamshedpur. And it's highly impossible for our team, a very small team, to have a control on one customer when we are going to work with several customers. So this is one improvement what we have done. For details, probably you can send mails, and the Durayarsan can definitely support you with some data. See, value analysis and value engineering, and I know that VAVE process, all of you must be knowing, it is a continuous process, and you can work with your customers in concurrent engineering basis whenever they develop a new product. In fact, we work with Ashok Leyland. Ashley Alteams work with product development of Ashok Leyland. Whenever they come up with a new product, at that time itself, all the wasteful operations, etc., we lock it there. And whatever products which has been running for donkey years, we work with them, and then gradually we get it leaned, so that you don't have any issues on quality, and at the same time their cost is brought under control. So VAVE process is an excellent approach. And then the activity-based costing. So gone are those days where you will have to, you will only say my cost is this, my margin is this. Cost has improved, you provide. All this stuff is not going to work with any of the OEMs today, whether it is local OEMs or the international OEMs. You need to have a total control on the activity-based costing, item by item, right from the ingot that you buy, and then movement cost, and then melting cost, metal loss, etc., and then you come to machine overrates, and then the secondary operations, machining operations, assembly operations. Every operation is to be quantified. In between some CMM checks, spectrometer checks, etc. All these things have to be activity-based costing has to be done. And you know what type of customers are going to give. Customer will say that we have some 3 or 4 suppliers, and all of them are supplying with this, and then you can't just come and ask for this price. You are not going to get it. So when the customer expectations are known and your activity-based costing is known, and then you should work how you can lean down all the activities so that you can meet the customer expectations, or you will be able to justify the customer. If you are not able to do it, you can request for customers to visit you and then justify them with each activity, so that they go and then give a positive impact. It gives a positive impact, and you are able to work with them on some price increases. So this activity-based costing is a very, very critical item which we should definitely be in. So just-in-time and inventory management, see, when you supply to different locations within country as well as you supply to US, I know most of the people who are exporting to US, I can continue? Most of the people who are exporting to US, and you have a warehouse there, or they have a warehouse there. The inventory management is very, very important, very critical. You just can't afford having loads of components there and then ultimately getting rejected. That is not going to happen. So inventory just in time, very important. And yep. No problem. Yeah. Just-in-time inventory management is very important, and you need to have a control. See, outsourcing, you talk about outsourcing cost. Normally, we take a decision on make or buy, and very critical component, tricky component where the customers are not willing to share the database with outsiders, you just can't afford, and it should be based on make or buy decisions only. Of course, this is more on VAVE. I was talking about functionality and cost. And all these things I think I will share with you, and then you can go through that. Activity-based costing, traditional costing, activity-based costing, we have discussed this. Just in time. One thing is just in time, of course, all these theoretical inputs you can share, and one of the very key things, see, for example, route optimization software, you can talk about GPS, not only GPS, and also last minute delivery solutions. See, all these things, you know, Tamil pesalama? All of you understand Tamil? I'm sorry, you will not be able to understand Tamil. No. If you want to touch your nose, you can do like this also, you can do like this also. So you need to optimize your delivery in such a way that you are able to the customers are able to get it. See, for example, from Ashley, we supply to Pantnagar. And Pantnagar, there is a transport time of 7 to 10 days. And they want just in time. Okay. And you just can't say that I have supplied and their line is still starving. Because unless you park your vehicle in smart time, that is early morning of the hours, so that you come first. The moment you go at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, there are 150 lorries waiting. And if you are going to be 151st lorry and they want that product today, it's not going to happen. So you need to keep on having control on when to deliver and what to deliver, etc. All these things are possible to develop a physical network and also a software type of approach, right? Digital network. And supply chain visibility is what I'm talking about. When the supply chain guy sitting at Pantnagar, he is in touch with our marketing guys, sales guys, and visibility he should have as to where the components are there, when it will reach, etc. For all these things, this GPS system and the inventory management systems and all this stuff will definitely work. And these are all part of the delivery parameters. Cost parameters we have discussed, quality parameters discussed. And this is route optimization of what I was telling, instead of touching the nose like this, etc. All these things we can do. So there are, see, the logistics service providers, they are coming with a lot of solutions, and we can discuss with them and tell them our requirement. And then mutually we can discuss with our customers to find out which are the best logistic company they are comfortable with and how they can support, etc. All these things we can discuss so that this is put in place, and logistics cost is also optimized. And customer is happy and we are also happy. Neither customer nor ourselves should lose on this area. At the same time, we have to meet up with the expectation. And this is what more and more pictures, you can go through that. And delivery network expansion is about large organizations. For example, if you are supplying left, right, and center, you are a 20,000 crore company. You are supplying left, right, and center. You supply to south, you supply to east, you supply to north, you supply to west. And you need to have network expansion. And the local area network, that is what we call LAN. Physical LAN is also required so that you are able to have a control, so that otherwise the guy sitting in the factory will go mad. If they are going to get some 15, 20 calls, everything is urgent. What can they do? So this type of an approach, a lot of large organizations are taking, and that will definitely help. Smart product, smart factory, all this stuff Mr. Singh was talking about. Yeah, the journey continues. At the end of the day, Tamil solnona, kappu veno, bigile. At the end of the day, we need business, we need profit. Illaya? Konde theriyam pathukoma. This is important. Konde theriyakudadhu kappu veno. For all these things, we need to go through all these processes. I am very sure that you would have enjoyed this. My humble request is you please write down your queries if you have any, put it across in a mail to Iif so that they can share with me, and Durayarasan will be able to come back to you with answers. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you, sir. Just from the applause, we can tell it was a very, very fruitful session. A very, very practical approach to our session today. Now I request Mr. A.M. Praveen, Council Member, Iif Chennai Chapter, to felicitate Mr. S. Rajagopalan with a traditional Angavastram. Now I request our Honorary Secretary, Iif Chennai Chapter, to present S. Rajagopalan with a memento.